So Saturday morning, nothing better to do, but I think what we're going to do here is we're going to take this engine out. So I'm just going to give you like clip by clip, see what I'm sort of doing, see if it helps you in any way, and hopefully we'll get this engine out. Now I've already removed the air box. We've got the sensor to unplug, so we're going to go round and unplug all of these wires and get them out of the way. Obviously we've got the fuel feed, and so all these wires connected to sensors and everything, and then we're going to disconnect the gearbox and the engine mount, bring it to one side, hopefully drop it down through the bottom of the car, because at the minute it's on just some ramps. So we're going to give it a go. So we've just got a few connectors off, sensor connectors off, and notice that this one is connected to here, and then we've got the air conditioning. So instead of releasing the air conditioning and then having it regassed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 3 bolts off of it and then tie it to the chassis somewhere, probably over here somewhere, and that way then I don't have to regas it, and when I put it back on it's just belt driven. It's just belt driven off the engine, so that should be fine. So as you can see now, it's just hanging there, the pump, the air conditioning pump. So I'm going to tie that up in a minute. I just want to show you like all these wires and stuff. I don't want you to be like overwhelmed by them, because all of the fittings are different apart from the 2 sensors that go on the camshafts. But one's a shorter wire, so it really only can go there. The other one's like a longer wire, which obviously goes in there, let's see. So you can't really get them confused. It's just nice and simple. So I'm going to carry on undoing this wiring loom, as you can see. And anything electrical I'm just going to take out and move off and put all over this side of the engine, so I can then get into the bolts where it needs to be removed. Obviously water will come out of the water pipes. I haven't got any water in this at the minute, so I'll be undoing these next, and this pipe at the back here, and just sliding the ring further down the pipe and just taking it off. You know, not making it too difficult. There's an air pressure pipe here. I think you just push it in for the brakes, and I think he just wobbles off, but I don't want to keep filming nice simple removing of just pipes, you know. So I'll just crack on with that, and I'll get back to you now. So I just wanted to show you, I've got most of this wiring loom off now. I also just wanted to show you the injector rail, fuel injector rail, and the injector plugs. Now once again, if you look at the way that this is designed, you can see that when it fits back on, it clips into these holes, and that lines you up for the wires and where they should go. Now if you do get a little bit confused with this, you can always mark them off 1, 2, 3, 4, so you know which way they go back on. There's a few different ways, but what I wanted to show you is they've got like a little clip on them, and you have to push that in, and you just push that in, there it is, and it just pops off. So as you can see by the clip, it's just got a little release mechanism, and you don't need to release it when you put it back on. You just literally push it straight back on. So push that in to release it, and they're quite difficult because they are in there quite awkwardly, but just do one more. See, there we go. I hope that explains that a little bit. Train going past. Yeah, so basically you can see what I've done here now with the clips, like the water clips. Yeah, I'm struggling with this with this little sensor clip here a minute. I've took off the little red guard, and now it should just be a matter of pressing that. And now this pipe's out the way, I can get my hand in there a little bit more, and hopefully it will come off. Sometimes you have to press them down and push them forward, and then push them back. So and then like this big pipe here, let's see. So once again I've emptied all of the water. It's probably a bit of a wrong time to tell you, yeah, but I'm not no mechanic. I'm just doing this as a hobby. So just make sure that you disconnect your battery as well, yeah. So right now we're getting close to undoing the engine mounts. Getting close to doing some engine mounts, and we've got just a few more sensors underneath, which I'll try and show you. There's probably a gearbox sensor or something in here, and obviously the alternator will have power to it, so that'll be all from underneath. So just up and underneath now, you can probably see that there was a sensor there that comes down to the exhaust, and there's the alternator there. So I think what I'm going to start doing is maybe take the alternator off and leave it with the wires attached. But it's going to be a nightmare getting this engine out from the bottom. Normally you take them out through the top. You know, that's just normally the easiest way. Obviously you've got the starting motor there as well, and that's all piped up. I wouldn't mind to disconnect the wires on that and keep it there, because once this engine's out and I've repaired whatever the damage is, then basically I might want to start it outside the car, so maybe that might be another video. But you can still see there's quite a few wires to take off, so here we go. So just want to show you what we got here now. Oh, wrong. So I've just put a block of wood underneath supporting the engine. I've slanted the jack on a bit of an angle. Hopefully when I undo all the engine, the gearbox bolts and the engine support brackets, hopefully there should be a bit of movement there. So we'll see what goes on, and then we'll judge it from there. So I've got two different types, two different size bolts. One's an 18 here, and one's an E14. So that's what we're going to do now. We're just going to take them off. So see if I can just do this. One, two, so that's them three out. Just going to then undo these two, and then hopefully that engine bracket will engine mount bracket will come off. There we go. And just moved a little bit there on the jack. Now what I tend to do is I always tend to put the bolts just back in the holes, and then I'll put this piece inside the car, probably the footwell, you know, just so those bolts go with that. So we're just going to squeeze the engine's quite free now, so it can move. So I'm just going to take this belt off. Okay, so the belt's now off. And then So I've just lowered the engine a little bit on the jack, just so now, normally I would have the wheel off by now, do you know what I mean, and doing it that way, but I can't do that today. So you can just see the engine bracket bolts there. So I'll get those two, and then I'll jack the engine back up, and then I'll do the final one, which is over this side. I think there it is, just up there, look. Yeah, a little bit difficult to get to that one. So and then I'll jack it back up, get to that one that side, and then hopefully that'll come off then, and then we've got to start thinking about the gearbox. So getting this piece off was fiddly. The best way I can explain it is, well, you can see the angle the engine's on now. You know, so I've had to higher it, lower it, higher it, and then lower it, and then wiggle it. I put a piece of wood in here and just moved it across a little bit, and it seems now that, well, it just fell out, and look how long the bolts are, you know. So I'm going to put all these 3 bolts back in here, and again I'll put that in the footwell of the car, probably on one of the mats, because the mats are the cheapest thing to replace if they get oily or dirty, and we'll just keep cracking on. Just keep cracking on until this engine's, you know, we've got a lot more movement around the back now as well, so I can get down there a lot better. So when it comes to undoing the alternator wires, which I haven't done yet, and the starting motor, you know, but I'm doubtful that it's going to come out through the bottom. I think come the end I'm going to have to take off all the side, and then take the head off, and then just lift the bottom half of the engine back out, you know, like it might be easier at this point just to take the front off, you know, the front just does come off, and then clips, and do the lights and the impact bar, and just literally slide it out through the front, you know. But we'll see which way it goes in a minute. I'll just try not to disconnect the air conditioning unit, because obviously it costs money to replace, and it's all about, you know, doing it yourself, getting out there and having a go in it. Yeah. So I've just took out the battery. The battery was obviously in here. This has got a couple of clips either side, so just be careful you don't break them. That sits on the battery, so that secures that piece. And then there was a bolt in here which stops the battery from moving forwards and backwards and clamps it down, and that snapped off. But what I did want to show you as well is these have got, like, this is the ECU for the engine ECU, and this one just slides in there, look, and the other one just literally clips in. So just clips in, and then that holds that steady, you know. So I'm just going to put that back on, so it's all, I just didn't want any, whilst I'm undoing starting motors and things like that, I didn't just want this earth to maybe pop back on and touch something on the side, because obviously the chassis is the earth, and I didn't want anything to earth that and start a current running around the car whilst I'm doing things. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start undoing these bolts and just see if there's a bit of wiggle room there, and see what happens, really, and go with the flow. There's probably a few more bits that I need to take off, but we'll just see if I can lift the engine a bit and give myself a bit more room to take those pieces off. But all in all, I think we're starting to disconnect everything all around this engine. So obviously there's still bits at the back, and these bits need to be sorted, but everything's now becoming disconnected to this engine. So obviously we've got this big wire here going to the starting motor, and we've got this other one here going to the alternator. So here we go. So I've had a little look, yeah, and I'm just literally thinking, I don't think that engine's going to really come out of there, even if, you know, if I had an engine crane it'd be a lot easier and a lot better, but I haven't. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the side of the engine again, and take all that off, and then I'm going to take the cover off the top, and then I'm going to spark plugs out and all that and everything else. Get to the head bolts, take them off, take the whole head off with the exhaust on it and the inlet and outlet manifolds on it, exhaust there, and then that's half the engine out. And then I might just then try and find the bolts that are connected to the gearbox once that's off, and then just take the bottom half of the engine out, and I think that'll probably be the best way with this engine. I'm here on my own, and that's probably the safest way, I think. So that's what we'll do. So here we go. And just use the pulley to stop the bolt from turning. Just like that. Just water pump pulley off. I'll just put the bolts back in again, and once again stick them in the car. So here we go. The next steps is undoing all of these little torque bolts up and undoing the whole lot. Here we go. I'm just loosening them first, just try and find as many as I possibly can. There's always going to be ones that you miss, because there's so many of them. I think it's important when you do them up to make sure that you evenly do them up, a bit like when you're doing the head gasket. That's the way I'll do it anyway. Yeah, so but undoing them not so much, I don't think. Like I said, I just go around and loosen as many as I possibly can, as many as I can see, and then go from there. So obviously I'm going to lower the jack down in a minute and take off the main pulley there, yeah, for the crank, and take that off, and then hopefully after I undo all these bolts, I'm not going to bore you with it, but once I've undone all these bolts, I'll show you the next step. Obviously I'm going to take off the alternator bolt as well and just slide that back a little bit. Maybe I might have to take it all off, but we'll see. So as you can see now, just took the cover off. Obviously we've disconnected all the wires anyway. I've just cranked these all off now, so I can undo them by hand when I'm ready, just in case it rains or something. I'm going to leave the spark plugs in there a minute. Yep, so all four of them, I'm going to leave them in there a minute and get back to doing the side, and we're going to go from there. I'm just going to film this bit in a little bit of real time, just to give you something to look at and connect with, really. It is just absolutely such a ball ache, you know. Let's get this pipe off. So we just got to keep looking and keep seeing where these nuts are. See where these nuts and bolts are, and undo every single one of them. Let's just hope we beat the weather. So I'm just loosening them off, so basically I can see which ones that I've undone and which ones I haven't undone, because they're sticking out more than the ones that I haven't touched yet, you know. So that's the way I'm gauging which ones I've undone and which ones I haven't undone. I'm hoping this time, because I've sealed the water pump, because we had a previous leak. Please watch the other video, and sealed all that and put it back on. So just trying to see if I can see any more. Let me just have a little hunt for any more of these nuts. So again, it just feels like there's just loads of them. There's another one here. These two bigger bolts got to come undone. Let's just see if I can get you in there. Yeah, so crankshaft nuts out at the minute. Took the pulley off as well. All that's going to need cleaning before it all gets put back. So I've undone these two. You can see how they stick out. Look, see? You can see. Try and get you in there. See how they stick out, so I can see which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. There's the draining plug for the water. So if you ever need to drain off the cylinders or anything like that, that's the direct one there for it. So I've had the sump off, so the sump's not connected. So let me just undo these, and we'll see where we are. So we've just got, I think we've undone almost all of them now. We've just got a couple of bigger bolts. Those ones that I pointed out earlier. Easier to see from underneath, I think. So we'll just get the extension bar. Get the extension bar. So here we go, just gonna undo a couple of these. Oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to film it, eh? But yeah, just gonna undo this bolt, and then I'm just gonna undo the bolt on the top there, and then I think we're close to getting it all off. So just loosen them two off. So they're a little bit bigger, these ones. Even though I've got T-sets and all that and everything else, I still use, you know, just spanners and stuff. You can still undo a lot of this with just like spanners and other tools. You know, you don't need, you know, like the exact things. But even though if you have got the exact things, you know, but it's all about budgeting, isn't it? You know, if the car's going to cost you £1 million to repair, then you might as well bin it and get a decent one, ain't you? So I'm just going to film this, yeah. So I've loosened off all these. So loosened them all off, except for the ones in the middle. So let's just left the spark plugs in there, yeah, just in case I drop anything. Not that it really matters, because I'm going to take the whole head off, but you know, if you did drop something down in there and you didn't have the spark plugs in there, it's going to be a nightmare to get it out, isn't it? You know, so just have a little think, maybe put a cloth over holes and stuff, you know. Not only just to stop the dirt and dust and everything getting in there, but also obviously, like I just said, dropping something down there is a nightmare to get. So we're now ready to take this off. There it goes. Obviously dipstick there as well. We just put that somewhere safe a minute, and then we can start. You know, we've got the chain here now, look, so we're uncovering everything again. So here we go. Let's get this cover off, and then we're making a bit of progress here. Hopefully we can get the head off today, and maybe the bottom out. Let's have a little look. I just want to show you something. When I pull on this now, I can start to see movement here. So it's starting to open, which is good. Not so much here on that side, but definitely on this side. So, which leaves me then to think I've missed some bolts on this side, which probably need to be undone. You know, and I'll keep going like that until it just becomes loose, yeah? So here we go then. We've got the side off now, and now we've got the top off. So I'm going to take the spark plugs out now, and then I'm going to undo these bolts. Where are they to? There. So this bolt, that one, and these ones, and then that head's going to come off. So that's the next steps, yeah? It's going to be quite heavy because I've got the manifolds in and out, both on. So and the cat, so and everything attached. So that's what's coming off next. Just going to take the spark plugs out now. I don't want them hitting anything or anything going wrong with them, so they're going to come out now. I'd love an engine hoist if anyone wants to donate one. You know, that would definitely make my back feel much better, because I'm going to have to reach in a minute and you know, pull this out by hand. So just double checking, make sure there's nothing connected all around it after this, and then the next bit will be head off. Just using a pair of snips, just put them out. They used to have the bit that goes in the socket. Cool, that doesn't look very nice, does it? Yeah, it looks all rusted up. Let's try and put you on a different thing. Looks terrible, doesn't it? Look at that. That doesn't look nice. Maybe I won't be putting these back in. Doesn't look too bad, bit carbon, but that's fine. Right. So here we go, yeah. Was having problems with taking the head off. So I took the exhaust manifold off, and I basically have loosened off all the head bolts, but I just need to make sure that they're all ready to come off. Now I always keep them in the slots, in the holes, because then you know exactly what bolt come out of which one. So I'm just going to pick this up now and take it out. So just try and put you there, eh? Just so you can maybe watch this one. It just feels like there's something just catching. There we go. So there we go. I don't know if the camera's a bit blurry there, but there it all is. So it's all looking not too good, to be honest. So there we go. Now we can start to see the bolts behind. Just give us a second. So yeah, took the head off. It's now back in the back of another corsa. So I'm just going to show you over here. Basically, there's the head, and you can see like one of the bolts here that I haven't undone. Obviously, you've got starting motor. I want to leave that on, but I'm going to disconnect it. We're going to get rid of a few of these sensors and just leave the alternate down there, I think, and start disconnecting the gearbox now, because there must be another bolt. I can't imagine it just being this bolt and the other bolt holding it on, but maybe it is, maybe it's not. The only way to check is by obviously undoing them and seeing where we go from there. So but it does look like there was like a few issues here, aren't there? So just looking at the head itself and all the rust inside, you know, it's not very good look, is it? So all that's going to have to be sorted and repaired, I think. So here we go. So just taking off the starting motor now. So we're just doing the live to the start. Yeah, so put the nuts back on so we don't lose them or need to go looking for them anyway at any time. Took the bolt off here, just looking for the other one. Sometimes it's good to get a mirror if you can't quite see, and have a good look around, or have a good feel with your hand. And maybe you can locate the nut that needs to be undone. In this case, I think I have, and it is right down the back. Oh, the tool won't release a minute. 1 second. I'll just see if I can see it down there somewhere. I think that's it. Let's put the ratchet on there. There it goes, I think. So you can tell if you got it, for the simple reason being is the starting motor will start to move a little bit. So as you can see there, look, the starting motor, it's just starting to come away a little bit. See get these wires out of the way. See the movement there. So there's just two bolts holding it on, and I'll just take them off now. So you can just see now. Let me just show you down here and let me see if I can do this. Maybe you can just see the last bolt there for disconnecting. So as you can probably see, with Caveman tools and a pair of glasses, you can see that finally the engine's come out. So it did go out the bottom. Not highly recommended. You know, just quite mad really, but still kept the air conditioning pump, so it's still full of gas, so that's good. And then we've got the gearbox now, which is just on the gear mounts, engine mounts for the gearbox. And then just over here we've now got the actual engine itself, and you know, to be honest, I don't think this is looking too nice. I don't like that. And you know, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but there is tiny little white bits here, and you know, so I think I think we're going to have to have a look. I'm going to put the pulley back on. I've put the pulley back on, and I'm going to give it a turn and manually, and just see what happens with these pistons, because I don't know, maybe it's this engine or maybe it's just me like overthinking a little bit, but normally top dead center is one, and but these two look very close to the same, but maybe it's just the design of the engine, you know. But there doesn't actually seem to be any damage that I can see, but definitely it all needs taking apart and giving it a good clean, and then putting back together and making it look a lot better in it. So yeah, so at least they're dry. Last time they were filled up, now they're dry. So just so you can see, we've got a boot full of parts as well. So I haven't looked at the valves or anything on this yet, so that's, you know, I'm going to just turn that over and see what happens. You know, to the pistons, see if they go up and down nicely and all that sort of stuff, and then I might just turn it over and take the bottom off and just have a good look through everything and just check everything and make sure, you know, I always put all my bits and bobs in a bucket, just you know, it's just a handy thing. But I've done all this with Caveman tools, you know, and a jack pretty much. So you know, don't be scared is what I'm trying to say, and I reckon just crack on with it, you know.